All right, folks, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show, Freedom Friday, and we are ready. This show is brought to you by TTL Media and JustInformed.com, a social media site that does not steal your data, does not sell your soul, your data, your privacy, none of the above. Go to JustInformed.com, become a member today. And let's start the show. Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black. All right, and let's do it, y'all. Oh, there they go. Hey, what's up, people? How you doing? Once again, I'm Tim Black. You're back. You ready for Freedom Friday, I hope? Because we got a lot of freedom to reclaim, right? So what's going on, my peoples? What's going on, my people? How y'all doing? Y'all good? Y'all good? Y'all good? I want to welcome everyone on all platforms. Hopefully, we are everywhere tonight because a couple nights ago, I could not get my Periscope people to be in the house. Something about Periscope is sometimes a little tricky, guys. But Facebook, YouTube, I'm glad to have you. Thank you for being here.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I hope you do, man. I hope you do. I'm connecting my chat so that I can refer to it because believe me, folks, I'm going to need you tonight. I see Lori Root Riley. Uli's in the house. Moonchild. Moonchild's in the house. Brian Crosby, Mars Pluto, Low Key are in the house. Give it up for my friends. My friends are in the house. And Frederick Murphy. Give it up for him. What's up, Margarita Silver Potts? Bam. Bam, bam, bam. We are doing it, man. Let me give a big shout out to the whole Tim Black Wolfpack. Everybody, all my Wolfpack members, all my Team Black members, thank you guys for being here tonight.
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Yes, you did. You know you could do it. All you had to do was log onto your computer, grab your smartphone, and join into the fun. That's right, guys, because we are here on Freedom Friday to tear it up. Now, let me put the phone number up, guys. Phone number is 319-527-6212. That's the number you dial if you would like to add your voice to the choir. I said if you would like to add your voice to the choir this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, we're going to do some professing, some prophesizing, and some baptizing tonight on the truth. So glad you guys can make it. Yo, so the title of tonight's show, goodness gracious, the title of tonight's show is Paul Manafort Flips. Stop playing with my emotions, Smokey. That's right, stop playing with my emotions, Smokey.
Emotion.
Come on now. Don't play with my emotions now.
Smokey, playing with my money is like playing with my emotion.
I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that I ain't scared of you. No. What I'm trying to tell you is pretty cut and plain, simple and plain.
Smokey, playing with my money is like playing with my emotion.
They're playing with my emotions. That's what you're doing. Playing with my emotions is what the Democrats are doing. Playing with your emotions is what the corporate media is doing. They are playing with your emotions. Tell them one more time, my brother. Come on now.
Smokey, playing with my money is like playing with my emotion.
See, he got his hand on his gun. Y'all see that gun? Let me move out the way real quick. You see this? See that right there? See, he's upset because he don't want nobody doing what?
Smokey, playing with my money is like playing with my emotion.
He don't want them playing with his emotions. And I'm trying to tell you that that's what's happening with this whole Paul Manafort thing. So you may not know it or not, but that's what's going on. Right now, there are there are media entities right now that are jumping up and down about Paul Manafort and how this will be the ending of Donald Trump. How Donald Trump will be impeached now because Paul Manafort said he's going to flip. It's hilarious if it weren't so sad that so many people are falling for it. Oh, they're falling for it. They're taking it all hook, line, and sinker. They're like, oh, this is it, man. This will be it. This is going to bring down Trump. Paul Manafort pleads guilty, agrees to cooperate in the deal with the Mueller team. Mueller. I always call him Mueller. It's Mueller, right? Now, Mueller's investigation. Yeah, it's true that Paul Manafort has turned states evidence or whatever you call it federal. It's federal. It's not state. Okay? Paul Manafort is facing 7 counts of foreign lobbying violations and witness tampering in federal court. Now, they have some other charges hanging over his head that they could hit Paul Manafort with. And being 69 years old, maybe Paul Manafort decided he's not trying to do all that time. I get it. You know, I wouldn't want to do time at 69. I don't want to do time now. I get that. I understand it. And yes, they want him to give them information in relation to Donald Trump and Russian collusion. And that's what the whole Robert Mueller investigation is supposed to be about, and I get that too. But see, the thing they're not telling you is that if Paul Manafort had anything he could give up on Donald Trump, he would have gave it up to avoid this conviction. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't think so? I think he would have. The other thing they're not trying to tell you is that none of these charges, and I do mean none of the charges, either the ones that they have currently that he's looking at or the ones that they're holding over his head have anything to do with Donald Trump. Paul Manafort is 69. He's been doing dirt and dealing with foreign countries, violating agreements, not registering as a foreign agent, or and doing these deals with the Ukraine or Russia, whatever he was doing over there. Making lots of money is what he's been doing. He's been doing that for years and years and years. They're selling this thing to the detriment of the American people. And they're playing. I tell you, they're playing with your emotions because there is nothing Paul Manafort is not being prosecuted for anything related to the 2016 election or anything to do with the Donald Trump campaign at all. But just because he worked for Trump, they're able to make it seem that way. Now, why would they do such a thing, Tim Black? If you're right, Tim Black, and the media is lying to me or fooling me or deceiving me, Tim Black, why would they do that to me? They would do it because it's very profitable to do at this point. Do you realize how many millions and millions of dollars have been generated off this Russia story? Donald Trump and Russia collusion has been paying huge dividends to these networks. Most people would tune out on politics about now. I mean, come on, guys. Donald Trump has been a cash cow. Who wants the cash cow to stop giving milk? The Russia conspiracy, which is all it is, as it pertains to Donald Trump and Russia working together to get Donald Trump elected, is a conspiracy. And I thought we hated conspiracies. I thought the liberal media hates conspiracies. But that's all it is. It's a conspiracy theory. It's something that someone believes that more than one person got together and conjured up a strategy to do something. Conspiracy, a plan. You have a theory about the plan. They have a theory about a plan, but they have no evidence to it, or we'd already have that out. Any testimony that Paul Manafort gives will not get Donald Trump indicted. Damn it, don't you see it, folks? It's just like I've been trying to tell you. It's what I've been saying.
Shit.
Lord have mercy, folks.
Smokey! Playing with my money is like playing with my emotion.
They are playing with your emotions and your money and your time, because your time in front of their screens, your time clicking and watching and whatever you're doing to give them your attention, to them is money. Because advertisers will pay to be in front of you while you watch Rachel Maddow or while you watch TYT and Cenk Uygur. Yeah, Cenk Uygur and TYT are doing a segment. They were doing a segment earlier today. It was like a marathon of Manafort flips on Trump. And people are like, oh, man, there were 12,000 of you people watching it. Going, man, look, they're going to get Trump. No, they aren't. Not with Paul Manafort. They're playing with your emotions and they know it. Folks, between you and I, right? If there is something, if there is anything that can remove Donald Trump from office that proves that Donald Trump has committed crimes that could cause him to be removed, I'm not even saying it's possible. He is the president. He could pardon himself. But I will say this. If there is anything that they have that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt, or proves beyond a reasonable doubt, I should say, that Donald Trump is guilty of treason or he's guilty of colluding with a foreign entity in order to overturn or secure an election, then I would be one of the first people to be like, yeah, I support him being impeached. But see, this isn't about what I support or don't support. This is about evidence and facts. And this is about the American people being taken for a serious ride and being played like jackasses by a media that wants to make money. Leslie Moonves of CBS, recently ousted, what did he say? He said, Donald Trump is bad for the country, but he's good for business. And that's all this is. Business. Nothing Paul Manafort is going to say will get Donald Trump impeached. Paul Manafort knows that. Robert Mueller knows that. Donald Trump knows that. Who doesn't know that are the people watching. I wish it was another way so that people would feel better about it, but the reality is it is what it is. This is a money play. It's always been a money play. It's been a play to distract from the Democratic Party losing to Donald Trump to begin with. They had to create a scapegoat, a boogeyman, so they created Russia. I'm not saying that Russia didn't tamper with our elections or try to tamper with our elections. I'm not saying that at all. I'm sure they do. I'm sure that all major countries try to tamper or hack or something to that extent. I'm not denying that at all. I've never denied that. What I'm telling you is that their hacking, their attempts, did not change our election. Even Rosenstein even admits to that. FBI. So, look, we can go round and round and round all day about it and paint people as Trump supporters or Russian bots if we want to. But many people who are just calling it straight didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. I really, truly don't have a horse in the race other than the horse of truth, if that's a horse. But the problem is our media won't let that horse ride because that horse does not make money. That's why you can only be on one side of this. Either you think Trump's free of any wrongdoing or you think he's the devil incarnate. Because those are the two alleys where the money is. But ask yourself, what's more than likely to be true? Something more like in the middle, right? Isn't it? Isn't it always that way? Something more like in the middle. An investigation has concluded with a plea having nothing to do with President Trump or the Trump campaign. I don't agree with a lot of Trump policies, but I didn't agree with a lot of Obama policies. It just so happens that people were so enamored with Obama, and so was I in the beginning. So was I. I'm one of those people. But also, I would have woke up earlier to Obama if the MSNBC and CNN and CBS and ABC and NPR and all these other entities, TYT, if they would have just shot it straight and gave me the information so that I could wake up sooner. But they did not. They did not give us the information. If you are walking around today, head on fire, hair on fire, if you are walking around today too happy or too sad, you are being played. Well, regarding Donald Trump and Paul Manafort. Come on, guys.
Smokey, playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
They are playing with your emotions, and they know it, and they do it all the time. They're experts at playing with your emotions. But this thing right here, I think this is just horrific. This is horrific. Paul Manafort flipping on Donald Trump with anything that would impeach him would definitely get him off scot-free. Let's be reasonable and logical about this. If Paul Manafort had the goods to get a president impeached, you think he'd be looking at any time at all? He would have been in protective custody in a bomb shelter somewhere. Think. We're talking about the President of the United States. If Paul Manafort, look, now, there are people, lots of people who talk a lot about the Clintons and talk about how dangerous the Clintons are. Some of it based in reality, some of it not so much. And some of it in that middle section that's like, I don't know, I don't know. But, Joe, you can't say that the Clintons are so dangerous that these bodies just keep falling from the sky. But then when there's Trump on the chopping block or potentially on the chopping block, you act like nothing can happen to people. What happened to all the theories, guys? What happened to all the, danger dealing with powerful people? We use it all the time, right? Do you really think that Paul Manafort, a guy you didn't know who he was 6 months ago, a year ago, you didn't even know who the hell Paul Manafort was, you think that guy would be allowed to just be walking around if he could take down a president of the most powerful nation, the most military-backed nation in the globe, in the history of the world? Do you think that guy would just be, just walking around with an ankle bracelet on or something? No, they had him locked up, right? But do you think the guy would even survive the lockup? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I hate to be the guy. Look, I'm not trying to be the Alex Jones new second coming. All I'm saying is, think. Back to my earlier point. If Paul Manafort had anything to put Donald Trump away, he wouldn't be sitting in jail at all. He'd be on a beach in Maui with a different name. All right, guys.
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
You did know you could do it. They just did it. They've been playing games, playing with our emotions. All right, guys, that's sort of what I have to say about it. I'm sure other people have thoughts about it. It is hilarious, man, that we get into this. Jilly Love said, he's a rat. Yeah, he's a rat who would save himself if he could. And he would have already saved himself. Don't you think, Jilly? What do you think, my friends? What's up? Ruby, Alex Jones is an idiot. He is an idiot. But I'm talking about me with the doom and gloom. I don't want to. I'm just being reasonable and saying this is the president of a country we're talking about. Come on, guys. I'm not saying. Let me just leave that alone. I respect your comment. What's up, Fred Lexlow, Ernie B? KR says, think about what you're trying to do to me. Give it up for Aretha Franklin reference. Aretha Franklin reference in the house. All right. Don Hoogan, tons of shenanigans at work. Tons of shenanigans at foot, says Don. Now they're talking about Alex Jones, man. This is hilarious, guys. Oh, man. Man. Is there anything else on Manafort that needs to be expressed? Okay, so the prosecutor's star witness, Rick Gates, Manafort's former business partner, who struck a deal to cooperate with the government, testified during the trial that he and Manafort committed bank and tax fraud together. So we say Manafort is a rat, but Gates, the one that got the guy in the hot seat to begin with. This guy flipped so quick, thought he was going to try out for the Olympics team. No, he was an excellent tumbler in school. Downing, Manafort's attorney, suggested after the guilty verdict in August that Manafort was open to striking a deal before the second trial. He's evaluating all his options at this point, said Downing. So anyway, guys, this is an interesting story, but that's all it is. It's interesting. Cloak and dagger type stuff. But once again, guys, and I can't say it enough, they are playing with your emotions on this, folks. People need to realize that there's a lot of money to be made in media. It's a lot of money, a lot of revenues at stake. And this Russia story is like a Brinks truck backing up to the offices of NBC and CBS and Fox too, because they can counter it, and it's beautiful for them. It's beautiful for all these folks. Why do you think they keep talking about it? Why do you think you keep hearing about these stories and you don't hear shit about Flint? Why? You think people are just horrible human beings? Say it with me. Money. Money. That's why. That's why you keep hearing certain stories and other stories, you hear nothing about them. Either that or they're damaging the brands. So, the phone number's on the screen, guys. I'm not going to beat the heck out of this
Smokey, playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions. I'm trying to tell you, they are playing with your emotions for money. You heard? Where's the kill shot when you need it, Eminem? Boy, I'm telling you, man, Black Thought and Eminem some bad lyricists, man. Trying to tell you. I thought Machine Gun Kelly's verse was dope till I heard Shady's, and I was like, All right, guys. 319-527-6212. Give me a phone call if you'd like to speak your mind. We're talking about Paul Manafort, but the floor is open to discuss all issues pertaining to whatever's on your mind tonight. That's what it's for. That's what we do on Freedom Friday. 319-527-6212. And, yeah, we got a call in the queue. We have a 269 number. Hey, 269, you're live. What's your name?
It's Brendan DeGraff. BT DeGraff, author of the book for anyone, and the Young Going Through His Rigged. I wanted to talk about this Russian thing because it seems so weird that they always bring up Russia, but then when it comes down to actual attacks on our democracy, like yesterday with Cynthia Nixon, they just kind of hush. They just don't say anything. They're just like, oh, no, that's not an attack on our democracy. But clearly it is. It's voter suppression. It's always like the people, you know, they absolutely thrive for democracy. They absolutely thrive for it. But when democracy is actually under attack, they just kind of talk about Russia or kind of just push the narrative towards, you know, Trump hate or whatever they got. We got so many problems in America, not just with elections. We got Lake Okeechobee that's not being addressed, and we got Flint, you know, like you said. And it just seems like everybody else wants to talk about Russia. And of course, they're making money off of it. You know, it's interesting to see how many lies that they can, you know, fabricate. Like, I can tell you so many of the fake news out there that just happens, like, every day with, like, Rachel Maddow and some of her guests. There's this guy named John Mattis. Wow, he's a creep, talking about how Russian trolls invaded Bernie Sanders groups in 2016. And he's still peddling this stuff, even after he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar lying. Just craziness.
I hear you, Brandon, man. Hey, look, man, excellent point. You're absolutely right, my friend, and it is ridiculous what's going on, and you're right. They don't focus on real issues. They keep us distracted, and I'm telling you, man, this Russia thing has been very good for business, and I think that plus the fact the Democratic Party is good cover to protect Hillary and to protect the Democratic brand and blame something else for their loss. I mean, so what are your thoughts about going into 2020, Brandon?
Going into 2020, we got our work cut out for us. But right now, they're still rigging elections and stuff like that. They rigged the election between Murray Newman and Dan Lipinski for Dan Lipinski. They did the same thing against Tim Canova. They're just going to continue to do as much as they possibly can. They split the vote here in Michigan. I don't know if you knew about that. Abdul El-Say was clearly cheated. Cherie was an infiltrator. Cherie Fannender. And that's what we got to look out for. When coming up to 2020, we have to look at this stuff right here because these are the players that are going to make sure that 2020 happens for either a progressive or a neoliberal. Either way, if they get a neoliberal, we're going to have Trump for 4 more years. That's guaranteed.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Hey, Brandon, man, how do people find your stuff, man? I know you got a lot of content out there, and you got a series that Nico was telling me about called Rigged. How would they find your stuff so they could check you out?
Well, I'm on Nico House's YouTube channel, and I'm also on JNF. My content is spread out across Facebook, but mainly you can catch out my content on Mikasa Sukasa Network with Nico House on YouTube.
Hey, well, look, Brandon, we're going to do that, man. Thank you so much for calling up. Good to hear from you, my brother. Keep spitting that truth, man.
Thanks, man. You take care.
You know it. Yeah, people. So go to Mikasa Sukasa, check out Brandon DeGraff. He's got a show called Rigged. He's got a series where he's covering all the rigging of elections. And, yeah, definitely check him out, guys. And don't forget, he's also on justinforum.com. He's one of our contributors. And soon he's going to have his own tab on Just Inform. I know that's in the works, so I look forward to checking that out. Wow, guys. All right. Phone number is 319-527-6212. Look like I'm blocking the number a little bit here. Hope you guys can see it. I got another call in the queue. 111, you're live. What's your name and what's your comment?
Hi, Tim. It's Hytham Gannon from Brooklyn, New York. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Fine myself. So, the whole Manafort thing. Of course, he did plead guilty and also going to cooperate with a bunch of Mueller cronies who are Obama and Clinton officials. And I'll say these people are super annoying. And another thing I want to point out is that Mueller lost 2 people in the team that quit, of course. And, of course, this is bias. And, we all know it's biased since, Peter Strzok's ouster of Mueller's team, and not just him, but another one of those people that had another anti-Trump Texas when it was, one of them that said, Viva la Resistance, which is definitely truly biased. But getting to the point is like the thing with Manafort, the guy only lobbied for the former president of Ukraine, named Viktor Yanukovych, of course, when it's about the economic issues, and ever since the whole country was in chaos and whatnot. And also, the thing with Manafort being a campaign manager, the guy, he was like almost going to be like a plant to the Trump campaign, since this one, of course, we all know was working for the Podestas. And the thing with Mueller, that guy was disgusting for granting immunity to Tony Podesta. Like, you grant immunity to the most corrupt, evil guy, unlike his brother, John Podesta. Wow. Double standards right there for Mueller to grant immunity. And the thing with everything is, like, the Southern District of New York is putting Tony under investigation. Even I wouldn't be excited too much about it or whatnot. But for all the things I will say is this whole Russiagate thing, it is unraveling, of course, since that Russian lawyer, Natalia Veselnitskaya, along with that Marina Butina, all from this Red Sparrow movie. I never watched it, but not my thing anyway. And also, I will try, wrap things up as much as I can and everything. The thing, if the Democrats think they could just flip the House to blue, which it wouldn't possibly would, because there's blue wave and tsunami and everything. It's being really annoying and really childish and immature because these people are super annoying as hell, of course, even though the Cohen thing and, his attorney is a Clinton crony, and he did embarrass himself along with CNN. Good for them. They should deserve that. And also, I don't know, even though that's pretty much done, and same for Papadopoulos, since he was in the Sean Hannity show for the first time. I did watch bits of it, and he said he would testify what happened since he was set up by Clinton cronies, of course. And the Flynn, even though I heard that he's going to have another trial on the 17th of September, I don't know what would happen, but otherwise, this whole thing is being very political, and it's really getting out of hand. And the thing also, the truth is definitely unraveling. And I don't know how this would go in 2020, because I think possibility Trump would win against a neoliberal hack if they're going to cheat a progressive. And I will just finish this thing like this. As Washington Post's stupid, exaggerated motto, when democracy dies in darkness, yes, it dies with neoliberal cons that are, the deep state that did kill it in darkness. That's all my time, and thank you for the conversation.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you for the call, man. A lot of good points in there. A lot of good points. You're kind of on fire this week, brother. Kind of on fire this week. I'll tell you this, man. When you talked about the blue wave, you're right. It is disgusting. It's annoying, right? Because it's this idea that just as long as you're a Democrat, everything's good. I just want people to understand that a lot of times Democrats vote right along with Republicans. There are a lot of Republicans and Democrats that cross lines that vote for each other's stuff all the time. They're called dinos. And what does that even mean? Yeah, just because you're a dino or a rhino or whatever, it's all about, do your policies help the people, or do they help the people that paid for your campaign? See, that's what really matters, right? Now I understand there's some fluctuation, if you live, say you're a congressman out of West Virginia. You're going to have different issues than, say, a congressman out of, California, because they're going to be different based on the constituencies. There are going to be certain fields of work, professions, industry, I should say, that are going to be more important to you. And it may not always jive with what's going on the East Coast or on the West Coast. I get that. But we're talking about some things like health care, right? The bill that was up to get pharmaceuticals from Canada, for instance. Like there are certain things that don't have any difference in region or where you come from. They're just about people, economics, survival, life and death. And we got some Democrats who vote with Republicans and some Republicans that vote with Democrats. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the name alone tells you nothing. And this whole blue wave idea is that as long as it's a Democrat, you think you're going to be okay. And when I see people who are riding just the blue wave, I think, see, you are more of the problem than someone who's a Republican. And let me explain why. Because that's a tough charge to make, and this is what I mean. How we got a lot of the horrible policies over the last decade is because too many people were going, hey, we got a Democrat, so it's all good. Nothing to see here, we got a Democrat. You know what that got us in the 90s? It got us NAFTA. It got us FCC rollbacks, opening it up so that 5, 6 corporations own 90% of our media? The telecom industry? Bill Clinton, it got us 3 strike laws. It got us moving forward to Obama. It got us the destruction and dismissal of habeas corpus. It got us drone strikes and going from 2 wars to 7 wars. It got us dropping 226,000 bombs. I think it was Obama's first term. Or was it his first year? I really forget. All I know is Obama ran out of bombs. That's how many bombs he dropped. Because people sat back and they said, you know, we got a Democrat, so we're good. And that's not it. So that lulls people to sleep with the whole blue wave thing. It's not about a blue wave or a red wave. It's about policies that are best for the people. And until you wake up and see that, we're going to end up in the same spot over and over again. Same thing happens with Republicans who go back to sleep because they got a Republican and they go, oh, I got a Republican, or I got a conservative, I'm all good now. And you don't even look at what he's doing. Money's coming out of your pocket going to rich corporations and the wealthy. And you're going, we got a conservative and he's pro-life. What about your life, dude? Get where I'm going? So I appreciate you bringing up the blue wave and the neoliberals and the neocons and all this other stuff. And I just think that people just need to wake up and realize that it's not about name tags. Not at all. And also, since I'm waiting, if you don't mind, callers, I saw something that Sean Hannity said about Cuomo and Nixon. Right? He was saying how, you know, Cuomo beat the brakes off of Cynthia Nixon in New York. He beat her by 30 points. And that she was talking about, she talks about it was voter turnout that sunk her. I think what Cynthia Nixon meant to say is that Cuomo outspent her 20-1. So he was able to target voters. Also, he had the full machinations of the New York establishment in his pocket. Smear campaign, money influence. I mean, everything like substantially that he could have. And Cynthia Nixon's newcomer to politics, no infrastructure in place. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons. But for Sean Hannity, for people to, every once in a while, there'll be people going, oh, Sean Hannity's okay. It's just because they hate they hate establishment Democrats. They hate the corporate Democrats. They hate those guys, and I understand that. And I have no love for corporate Democrats either. But Sean Hannity's awful. And he just is. I mean, at least with Tucker Carlson, every once in a while he'll say something that you go, you know what, I got to give him credit. That's correct. I find it hard to find things that Sean Hannity says that I've ever gone, yeah, I need to give him. No, it's nothing. Sean Hannity's disingenuous as they come. He's the most disingenuous person probably on Fox News next to Megyn Kelly. And the other one, forget her name. But you get what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm not saying Cynthia Nixon was a great candidate. In my opinion, she wasn't a great candidate. But would I rather have her than Cuomo? Yeah. Yes, I would. Absolutely, I would. I absolutely would. Now, is there a Green candidate running? How many people took a look at the Green candidate running in New York? Is there a Green candidate or a Libertarian candidate? Is there somebody else running? You know, but as I look at the election results, as I look at the voter suppression in New York, as Brandon talked about, I'm wondering if maybe New York is so far gone as far as suppression that maybe we need to be focusing on that. I mean, you know, I know we got to try to put up candidates, but I'm just saying, man, I mean, come on, man. Well, there are people that lived in New York 10 years and all of a sudden they're off the voting rolls. Come on, man. Like I know this happened to other places as well, but New York is just special. It's like ground zero for voter suppression. So I know that there are people that are working diligently. No disrespect to you guys. I know there are people right now who are like Tim Black, somewhere, if they're hearing this, they're like, Tim Black, hey man, we're putting in all this work. We trying. Okay, you know what? Come on my show and let's talk about it. Come on my show. So let me open my door. Open the door and say, hey, this is me. Hey, election reform people in New York, come on the show. Come on. I need you to come on the Tim Black show. Come on. All right, I'm going to leave the door cracked. Oh, that's right. It's on a spring. It doesn't stay open. Amber, Geiger. You know what I'm talking about. But I'll reopen it for you. I'll open it for you. So yeah, this is where we are, guys. So look, so we we opened it talking about Manafort. I'm now talking about Cynthia Nixon. Don't pay me, don't worry about me. Whatever you want to talk about, it's cool for you to talk about. But these are just things that concern me, man. I just noticed that Sean Hannity tweet, and it pissed me off because he left out the fact Cuomo had 20. For every dollar Cynthia Nixon had, he had 20, and he just dumped money. He just like. He did a Florence hurricane of cash, just opened the heavens, just rained money all the way towards the end of this race. It just, money was everywhere. And Cynthia Nixon, all she could do was like go on social media. That was all her money would allow her really to do. So a situation like that, we're talking about a high-priced market where media is so expensive, it's really an uphill battle, right? So though Cynthia Nixon she had some good talking points, some things that I think she furthered the conversation on a lot of issues. I think it's disingenuous not to admit that this guy, he had total, institutional backing. I mean, he had Joe Biden come in and knock the ball at the park for the guy. I mean, Joe Biden was in his mailers and not even getting into the anti-Semitic smearing that they did on Cynthia Nixon towards the end. Like, come on, guys, if she was not a threat, would they smear? I mean, there's a risk associated with smearing, using anti-Semitic charges against someone, and then pretend like you don't know, even though it's come out your own campaign. So I think for Andrew Cuomo to take that risk, and also basically blow any chance of a 2020 run, because though he may have won his third term, well, possibly if he beats the Republican, he's just lost any chance of running for president anytime soon. Oh, no, that may play well in dirty New York, but that's not going to play well in Rhode Island or Vermont it's a lot of places. They're watching that going, this guy's pretty dirty. That's creepy. That's slime ball. That's dirty politics. People watch this. So, yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. It is what it is, guys. It really is. So I think, like I said, I wasn't very familiar with Cynthia Nixon before this election. But like I said, I'm always supportive of any time, as a person who is in media, anytime I hear somebody speaking truth to power, I know it has the potential of waking up people. So I'm always supportive of that, no matter what the outcome is. I'm always because I know the power of words. And people hearing Cynthia Nixon talk about Medicare for all, a universal basic income, talk about legalizing marijuana, talk about not just legalizing marijuana, but rescinding weed convictions for people with simple possession that's important, because it furthers the conversation. So hey guys, that's to me is very valuable, regardless to what happens in the race. That's why when people run, I try to support that run if they're speaking truth to power, because it's so important. 704. Let me bring in my 704 number. Hey, you doing, 704? You're live. What's your name and what's your comment?
Yo, it's Chris Renata from Charlotte, enjoying this nice hurricane weather. How's it going, Tim?
What's up, Tim? What's up, Chris Renata? Good to have you, my friend.
Oh, man. We're just kind of buckling down here. It's not too bad in Charlotte area right now. It's just really light tropical. I'm actually standing outside. You're seeing how everything is. I'm assuming the race is probably going to come Saturday, just mostly flooding. That's the most thing I'm worried about. If you were still on the beach, though, when the hurricane hit, you a dumbass. Just going to say that. because it's not like nobody mentioned it already. Like, this was pretty much one of the mentioned over and over again of how horrible this freaking hurricane was. I mean, literally 10 days ago, they started running out of generators. So if you're still there thinking that, oh, I'm going to be straight, yeah, that's on you, buddy. That's on you. But, yeah, that whole Cuomo thing scares the shit out of me, Tim, if you really think about it. Because, I mean, it's not just about Cuomo, man. Like, there's a lot of money and power behind that position of government, especially with local government. He holds a lot of keys, and there's a lot of people who want to have access to those keys. So there's going to be a lot of money exchanging, like you saw. Like, he could have probably literally gotten 10 times more money if he really needed to. And the scary part is, it's all, and that's probably not even the worst thing that could really happen. Because you really think about how corrupt government can be, especially in places like New York, and you think about the fact that people in lesser situations end up just disappearing when it comes to like power and influence. People don't really think about the full environment of how corruption works, you know? Because I think about, like, why do you think they require so much money? Why do you think money is the main driver for a lot of these things? Because money is power. You got power, you have influence. With influence, you can then persuade the masses. With the money, you use that to buy politicians. Politicians make laws, make it easier for you to do things like, I don't know, deregulate banks, deregulate Wall Street, deregulate telecommunications, so then you can own all the news organizations. You can be on the board of, you know, the CIA and Washington Post at the same damn time, Tim, yes. And no one seems to bat an eye about it, you know? Like, that's kind of scary, because, I mean, literally, you have these people who are using politicians as funnels to enact their needs, which is take more money from the common man, and basically gives closest rescinding all of the rights that we got when we first started, like, having unions, you know, give the average working man rights at all. I mean, honestly, I feel like if a lot of these corporations had their way, we'd be back to like we were doing back in the 1910s and 20s, where you're working 7 days a week. Your 5-year-old daughter or your 5-year-old son could be working at some fucking sweatshop or something, and it's okay if you die of like bad conditioning. You know, if you step too close to a machine and it like grinds you up into nothingness, and the corporation just gets another person, hires them on the spot. You don't get any compensation. Your family goes broke and homeless. Like, corporations don't think about that. They don't care. They're soulless human beings. This pisses me off is the reason why we allow them to act like human beings. Because, I mean, if that's the case, then why can't motherfuckers go to jail like normal human beings? If you put yourself in a situation where, as a corporation, you're responsible for someone's death, shouldn't you go to jail like someone who'd be responsible for an average human being's death? Unless you're a cop, right? Because we all know how that crap goes. Speaking of which, that other whole situation of that woman who walked into that guy's apartment and shot him thinking she was in her own apartment. One, that woman should never be a cop again, because your deduction skills are shit. Like, you literally going to sit here and it was like that skit that Dave Chappelle did, and it was like he was mentioning about he was worried about calling the cops because they might knock him out thinking that he was robbing the place. It was like, look, this guy went so far to put pictures of his whole family and himself into my apartment.
Smokey,
just so he can rob a joint.
Playing with my money is like.
Yeah, I know that skit.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
No, it's just scary because it's like, think about that, Tim. Like, if she gets away with that, that's you're setting precedent there. Like, and that worries me because as a black person, I'm deep in the conspiracy theories because a lot of the conspiracies happen against us. So you think about that, and you think about people trying to start movements and shit, and then all of a sudden, I walked into the wrong apartment. I shot the black guy. Oh, whoopsie daisy. You know, like, you can't let shit like that go. Like, that happens, people should be really fucking terrified. And the last thing was, before my time runs out, is wanted to say amazing work by your cohort, Nico House, kicking ass, dropping elbows once again. Because as we all know, the whole thing going on with TLT, dropping like progressive shows so they can be more political, we all know that's bullcrap. Like, how are you going to go on TV and get mad at companies who get a crap load of money back from taxes being the tax thing that they did not that long ago, and releasing people, but yet as TYT, you guys got $20 million, and you're still letting people go. Matter of fact, they still play that tired-ass commercial where they're like, you give us money, and we'll give you the 4 horsemen, and we're going to let them ride. What 4 horsemen? You had 1 horseman, and then that motherfucker gone too. And now you got no horsemen. Where's your horseman, Jank? Where's your horseman? Like, you put so much money, you put so much finances in it, and then the part that really pissed me off, I don't know if you watched the election coverage that they did the other day. You can see how, like, who really gives a shit, because Jimmy was the only one not smiling or not really, you know, joking along with everyone as they were slowly showing people leaving. And, like, Jank and them others was making jokes about, well, you know, this stuff happens. There's another year where the establishment crushes us and slowly gives our freedoms away to the Republicans. But hey, what can you do? You know, how's that counter doing? Oh, it's still under 30,000. Shit. There's no fucking way they're gonna get 100,000, Tim. There's no. Trust me. I think Rick James had a better chance at this point in his life, which he doesn't have, of getting 100,000 people to subscribe before they subscribe to TYT. I'm just saying. But you guys have a good night, and stay cool with Pat.
You got it, brother. Thank you for the phone call, man. Kushrinda! My man.
Kushrinda!
Kush Renata. I got him. But nah, I'm just going to call you Kush, man, with a K. What's up? Everybody likes Kush. All right. I know he heard that. I know he's laughing. Check this out, guys. I stumbled across a video where Cenk Uygur was talking about some of the downsizing that TYT has had to do. And, I think all along Cenk has had his eyes set on getting back at MSNBC. And I think that has clouded his judgment in a lot of ways. I mean, come on, guys. Like, don't get me wrong. I know people change. But he went from being a Republican to being a Democrat. Then he said he was a progressive. I don't know where he is now. I think he says he's still a progressive. He worked in the environment of MSNBC. And I think all along, man, he wanted to compete with them after he said he lost his job, or they downsized, or he walked away. I forget how this went down. But what I'm saying is I felt that he has been trying to compete with them, with MSNBC, had a chip on his shoulder, and it served him well to a certain degree. But when he started spending money and building out his platform, from my perspective, like, who am I to tell him how to run his business? I'm not. I'm just giving my opinion and analysis based on the actions. I just think his stomach was, his eyes were too big for his stomach. And he bit off more than he could chew. And in a pursuit to grow, he lost his way ethically. And I don't know if he ever had ethics. I don't know. Like, sometimes people in this business of news, it's hard to know if they're about The issues are about the money that's related to the issues. Or if they're like, you know what? Hey, if I can be about the issues and make money, fine. But if I got to choose between the two, I'm going to have to choose with money because, as Jank says, he is a corporatist. And that's the name of the game. So, like, these are problems, and they're going to always arise when it comes to if you're in business and if you're doing this type of work, what's more important? Don't get me wrong, guys. Like, I look at it and I say $20 million. That's a lot of money. This is a lot you could do with $20 million. Hell, it's a lot I could do with $200,000. I'd be lucky to raise 5. Why? Do I think that Jank speaks more truth to power than I do? No. I don't. Do I think that Jank is better, more charismatic, more interesting, can carry a show better than me? No, I don't. So what is it? Well, he has the connections to do it. He's been around twice as long. I mean, I didn't start last year, but he's been doing it for a long time. It's just I look at it and I say, God, what I could do with a 10th, a 20th, like Cynthia Nixon, what I could do with a 10th, a 20th of what he has. Come on. I know I wouldn't spend the money building out all these shows and all these different directions that don't deal with the core of what my business is. Now he says he's going back to the core of what he does. Meanwhile, he's calling himself the home of the progressives. And I think if there was any home of progressives, it would have to begin with true progressives. I consider myself one of those. Call it out whether you like it or not. Don't support the corporate Democrats who are selling this out, just like you don't support Republicans that are selling this out. And call a spade, not a diamond because you think you can put some dollars in your bank account. But that's the way I see it. And just because I see it that way doesn't mean everybody else sees it that way. So it is what it is. But I see the downsizing. And all I can think is maybe it's possible that some of these people that watch, some of the people that actually tuned in, maybe, just maybe, they'll find real, straight shooting, truth, honesty, revolutionary content that can lead them down a different path. So it's not that I wished for TYT's demise as much as I wished for the rest of us to be exorcised from that type of, what's the word for it, capitulation and incrementalism and compromise. And really what it boils down to is just people trying to keep their seat at the table and trying to keep the bills and trying to make money and and come on guys, if you're a millionaire, you already got your bills. It's not even about bills. Come on, dude. So that's how I feel about TYT. That's how I feel about the whole thing. And don't let TBTV, Tim Black, TTL Media, those are my entities. Don't let us somehow be able to raise anything close to that. Because I tell you what we will do is we'll have a lot more field reporters and a lot less pop triggers and what the flick and whatever that is she was doing and whatever that thing John was doing that time. Nah, we'd be going places covering actual news. That's what we would be doing. And damn it, one day we will. So, that's my rant. Till that happens, we'll just keep calling people out, speaking truth to power, and hurting some feelings of people who need their feelings hurt because they're full of it. 343, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name and what's your comment?
Hey, Tim, it's your tag team partner from the other night within Deborah Messing and Susan Sarandon. That night that we were talking about how Deborah Messing and other people are going crazy over Susan Sarandon, over being a Bernie Sanders supporter. I'm just like, the hypocrisy of Deborah Messing talking about Medicare for all. No, I'm just thinking about it because the odd connection between me and Deborah Messing is Eric McCormick. My cousin is an architect for his house, actually, out in BC. And I'm just like, Eric McCormick would school Deborah Messing and a bunch of other corporate people about what Medicare for All stands for, like how Jim Carrey went on Bill Maher to discuss about Medicare for All. Those are the policies that Progressive stands for. So you know what? It's all about class and it's all about dignity. And Susan Sarandon has a much more class and dignity than Deborah Messing and that other redhead chick. I forget her name tonight. But I was like, I don't get the hubris that Deborah Messing brings into the political warfare when it comes to Susan Sarandon being a Bernie Sanders supporter, when Bernie Sanders was the one who was going to change America for a greater way and not go for someone like Trump. And I'm just like, you screwed everybody like you did Cynthia Nixon last night. You screwed every progressive, which is much better and much more feasible than a corporate Democrat. And I'm just like, not for the few, but for the many, like Jerry McCormick says. So I just want to say, have a good show there, Tim Black. You know, have a good night. And you know what? It's all about Medicare for All. It's all about the policies that progressives put out: anti-war, anti-fracking, anti-oil, anti-big pharma, legalize marijuana. Go for it. Go for the gusto, and go for what true progressive stands for. And that was. And if you need, for an example, to use a Canadian as an example, use me as an example, because Medicare for All works for me and it should work for you. Have a good night, Tim.
Thank you, my friend. Well done, well said. I appreciate you chiming in tonight. I do, my friend. I went on a hell of a rant, and so about Deborah Messing and about Kathy Griffin. That's the name you were trying to remember, the redhead who cut off Donald Trump's head and then cried about it for a year and a half because people were off-put by it. It's crazy. When you put it that way, doesn't it seem like crazy? Like, dude, some stuff is too much. There are people that put out bad movies who didn't work for a year and a half. And they didn't offend anyone. They just sucked they were just bad. There are people that put out a bad album. We never heard from them again. They didn't do anything other than the song. The record didn't resonate. You put out a piece of art that offended the hell out of like half the country. Hell, there were Donald Trump, anti-Trump people that were like, damn, that's way too far. Get it? But I'm supposed to feel sorry for you? Come on. Hell, I haven't heard from my favorite rappers, and they didn't do anything but get older. That's it. They didn't do anything wrong. They just aged. They did the right thing. They grew up. And now I don't hear from them. But you, I'm supposed to feel sorry for because you had to take a year off because you upset millions of people? But anyway, look, the point is, I've been doing these shows now. Coffee with Tim Black is back, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think that's the time we're going to settle into because it takes time to like gather the content, get the media I want to cover, and have it all ready, and then so I'm thinking 2 p.m. Thing is, when I do these shows, I got these long videos, and they need to be broken down, and my son's getting a little overwhelmed. I can't have him working but so much because I can't really pay him. But we're going to be putting out clips because I covered Kathy Griffin, I covered Deborah Messing, I got a clip on Manafort, I got a clip on all these issues, Puerto Rico. I got these separate clips that I need to make to put content out so you guys can check it out. So find me on YouTube if you're on Facebook, guys. Because over the weekend, I hope to get a lot of that work done so that you can have it, check it out, share it with a friend, let people know about the show. We don't have a marketing budget to speak of right now, but what we do have is you. And if possible, if you can share content, if you can't get to the show, just share the content. And that way, try to help bring more people in. Because I swear, man, YouTube will not let me reach new people. It is the craziest thing. They won't let me reach the 100,000 people that I've already reached on YouTube. Only like 2% of my subscribers get notifications when I drop new content. And they're not sending out my stuff to new people. That's why I can put out a video and it'll get 500 views the first 24 hours. That's not because my people didn't want to see it. It's because they didn't even know it was there. And it's just what YouTube does. So if you share content, you're helping a lot, guys. I appreciate you doing that. Please continue to do it. It means a lot. It means a lot. All right. Booyah. Booyaka, booyaka. And what up with my people on, all my people out here? Let me connect some folks back up. So we got Facebook in the house. We don't. Who said that? The witness of Cacti said Manafort and Podesta have been in the arms business for years. Come on now. Yeah. I believe it. I do believe that. I know that to be true. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is not new stuff. It really isn't new stuff. This has been going on. And that's why I'm saying that what they're looking at Manafort for is stuff that Manafort has been doing for years. It's not Trump related. All right? Not Trump related at all. But they're selling it that way because that's what makes money. Right? That's what's good for business, is for them to sell it that way. But it don't make it so, guys. It just don't make it so. Who else we got? Vegan Trove says they benefit from the advertising. Vegan Trove says, make playlists, Tim. That helps with the algorithm. You know what? I will do that, Vegan Trove. You're right. You know what it is, Vegan? Vegan. Hey, thanks, Pat, for the super chat. You know what it is, Vegan? Sometimes I have a hard time coming up with what I want to call the playlist, right? Because I don't know how to connect them, like, in my mind, like, what's a good playlist name? So let's say, for instance, we got Paul Manafort video. We got me covering, I do a lot of different stuff. Deborah Messing, right? I'm covering the bashing of Susan Sarandon. I covered Puerto Rico. It's like these are topics I feel that aren't really related. So I have a hard time coming up with a name for a playlist for that. I guess I could call it the week of this or the week of that, but give me some suggestions, Vegan. Blaine Cook. I could not see myself returning to live in the U.S. Blaine Cole said, you can't see coming back to the U.S. Can't see him coming back. I've only ever lived in the U.S., so I can't see living anywhere else. But every once in a while, I do flirt with the idea in my mind, like maybe Canada, maybe, I don't know, Sweden, I don't know, maybe Africa, Nigeria, go to the continent of Africa and just, I don't know, go to Nigeria somewhere, I don't know, man. Hey, Jennifer Vickers, I know. What's up, Steve? Steve Wolfenbrandt's in the house. Chris says Medicare needs to cover dental and vision. Hell yeah, it does. Yeah. Well, all right. Now if we could just get these politicians to agree to it. There you go. The witness of Cactus says, I'm in China at the moment. Well, go ahead, man. Go ahead. He's the witness of Cacti. Tim, come live in Australia or Canada. Oh, wow. Hey, look, Zanga, nice. I love Mexico. I need to visit Mexico. I want to visit Mexico, Julie. Love 101. I do, and I will. I will do that. Mexico's close enough that really you should try to do that at least. Go to Canada and go to Mexico. You're right. I just, I just work so much that I keep thinking, like, later I have time, And meanwhile, the years are just moving on by, I mean, if it wasn't for Suzanne Murphy, I wouldn't have had a vacation. In fact, I hadn't taken my family on a vacation 5-6 years at least. I mean, my son was 2 and he's like 9. No, he was almost 2. He's 9 now, so 7 years. So shout out to Suzanne Murphy and Nico House and Susie and Ephraim and Kylan. Well, look, guys, looks like it's going to be a short show tonight, you know? And that's okay because I can, you know, do other stuff. You know what I mean? I can get something to eat. I haven't eaten anything today. But what I want you to know, guys, is that regardless to these elections, what's going on with these elections, I think the mindset of the people, I think people are kind of paying a little bit more attention. I know people paying more attention now than they were a couple of years ago. I'm concerned that some of it is the wrong attention. Like they're paying attention to Russia a little bit too much. They're paying attention to like the shiny stuff. And that's what's being put in front of them. But the thing is, you'll notice I do content. Sometimes it's kind of crazy. But my goal with doing content that's a little different is that I hope to attract other types of people. I want to bring people in and expose them to some different stuff. And I think sometimes, like, you know, being entertaining, talking about different subjects brings more people in so they become more aware of what we do. And then they'll check out a show or two and they'll be like, okay, it's a little different, but let me give this guy a chance. And that's how you kind of build a bigger audience. So that's sort of like what I do. I'm giving away some of my secrets right now, but that's my method of my madness. But I do believe we're on the right track, not just as a channel, but as a community. I do believe that. And I think if we just keep going. And really, guys, they make it easy for us. Because if they keep lying, and all I got to do is tell the truth, and all the truth speakers got to do is tell the truth, well, that's easy, right? That's easy, because you make it easy. Like, you're just lying. You're just lying. So look, guys, if you live anywhere near Florence, where Hurricane Florence is touching in, is coming in, I understand, please be safe. Our thoughts are with you. Our prayers are with you for those who pray. Please be safe and know that we hope that everything's okay. We hope that you, first of all, are fine and safe, and we hope that your belongings in your home are spared, because we care about you and we want you to be fine. We want you to do okay, because we know how tough life is. Life throws you a lot of curveballs. So that's one thing. The other thing is have a great weekend. Spend it with people that you love and mend the fence or two with someone that you fell out of contact with or had a disagreement with. I like to remind people to do that because life really is too short to be holding on to old stuff. So that's my tip for this weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to all my callers who called up and spoke truth to power. I appreciate you guys. It's an early Friday, but I love you, and it was good talking to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, my chat room moderators. You know who you are. Thank you for doing what you do. It's much, much appreciated. And with that, just remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread. All right? I'm serious. I'm seeing some people let the cornbread go. Come on now. We need to fight back in New York and fight back to take back our elections. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Shout out to Zanga, Vegan, Chris Harrell, Lori Root, Helen Ford, Jennifer Vickers, Nessa, what's up, Nessa? Carla Laverne, the whole crew, the Truth Bomb activists, Just Informiacs, and all the truth tellers everywhere, no matter where you are. I love you, and I will see you on the next one.
Tim Black.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.